In the last episode, the Earth was on the brink of collapse, ravaged by environmental disaster and societal upheaval. The once blue skies were now a hazy gray, and the air reeked of smoke and desperation. The remnants of humanity struggled to survive, eking out a meager existence in makeshift settlements and scavenged habitats. As I stood on the ruined rooftop, gazing out at the desolate wasteland, I felt the weight of our world's collapse bearing down on me. The skyscrapers that once pierced the sky now lay shattered and still, their steel beams twisted and tangled like skeletal fingers. The streets were empty, save for the scavenging drones and the occasional roving gang of marauders. I remembered the day the world ended, the day the climate tipped and the governments fell, the day the world as we knew it ceased to exist. My name is Ambrose Wynter, and I was a young entrepreneur when the world burned. I lost everything: family, friends, business, and home. But I refused to give up. A spark within me ignited, fueled by determination and desperation. I began to gather like-minded individuals, and together we formed a fledgling community. We scavenged what we could, repurposed what we found, and started anew. The fire in my belly grew, driving me to rebuild and restart. As we struggled to survive, I realized that we weren't alone. Other species, marginalized and oppressed, lived on the fringes of our dying world. The Illyrian refugees, with their iridescent wings and ethereal songs, had fled their own dying planet. The Kalan, with their scaly skin and piercing gaze, had been forced to adapt to a harsh, nomadic existence. I saw an opportunity to forge alliances with these species, to equip them with cutting-edge technology and propel humanity forward. My vision took shape: to unite the disparate factions, to pool our resources and expertise, and to forge a new future. The Earth needed us, and we needed the Earth. I would stop at nothing to make it happen. The stars beckoned, a siren's call to explore, to discover, and to claim our place among the galaxies. I could feel it in my bones. Humanity was on the cusp of something momentous. As I stood on that rooftop, the wind whipping my hair into a frenzy, I knew I had a decision to make. I could stay and fight for scraps, or I could take a chance on something greater. The cityscape stretched before me like a graveyard of steel and stone. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of my resolve settle upon me. I would not be bound by the failures of the past. I would not be deterred by the doubters and naysayers. I would rise above, and I would lead. With a newfound sense of purpose, I set out to gather my team and forge the alliances that would change the course of history. The journey would be fraught with danger, but I was ready. I was Ambrose Wynter, and I would not be defeated. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting the ruined city in a bloody orange glow. I smiled, a fierce glint in my eye. The darkness would not last. We would bring light to the galaxy, and we would start now. I descended into the ruins, my footsteps echoing off the walls. The city's silence was oppressive, punctuated only by the distant hum of drones and the soft rustle of fabric. I navigated the narrow streets, avoiding the roving gangs and makeshift settlements. A figure emerged from the shadows, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of curiosity and caution. Lena, my closest friend and confidante, fell into step beside me. "Ambrose," she said, her voice low and urgent, "we have a problem. The scouts have reported a Kalan vessel heading straight for us." I frowned, my mind racing. "What do we know about it?" "Not much," Lena replied, her brow furrowed. "But I think it's time we found out." Together, we made our way to the outskirts of the city, where our makeshift base of operations waited. The Kalan vessel loomed before us, its hull emblazoned with the symbol of the Kalan clan. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I gazed upon the alien ship. This was it, the moment of truth. Would we find allies or enemies on the other side of the galaxy? Only time would tell. The hatch opened, and a figure emerged. He was tall, imposing, and radiating an aura of quiet confidence. "Greetings, Ambrose Wynter," he said, his voice low and resonant. "I am Kale, emissary of the Kalan clan. We have come to discuss a proposition." I smiled, a spark of excitement igniting within me. The game was afoot, and I was ready to play. Let us talk, I said, extending a hand in greeting. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance. Let's see what the future holds. The Kalan emissary nodded, his eyes narrowing as he took in the makeshift base and the motley crew that called it home. We shall see, Ambrose Wynter, he said, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. We shall see. And with that, the course of history began to shift. The galaxy beckoned, full of mystery and danger. I steeled myself, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The darkness would not last. We would bring light to the galaxy, and we would start now. The stars shone bright above, a celestial map guiding us toward destiny. I felt it in my bones. We were on the cusp of something momentous. The journey had begun, and I was ready to lead. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I would not falter. But as I looked into Kale's eyes, I sensed a hidden agenda, a secret that threatened to upend everything. The game was afoot, and I was about to discover that the line between friend and foe was thinner than I ever could have imagined. The clock was ticking, the galaxy was waiting, and I was just getting started. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the galaxy in a warm orange glow, I knew that this was just the beginning. The battle for humanity's future had begun, and I was ready to face it head-on. The darkness receded and a new era dawned. I stood tall, a beacon of hope in a desolate universe. The stars shone bright, guiding us toward a brighter future. And I knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The journey continues. The warm orange glow of sunset still lingered in my mind as I stepped into the makeshift base, the hub of our fledgling operation. The air was thick with anticipation, the weight of our uncertain future palpable. Kale, the enigmatic emissary, stood before me, his piercing gaze scrutinizing every detail of our humble surroundings. "Your setup is impressive," he said, his voice laced with a hint of skepticism. "Considering the circumstances." I smiled, a wry, humorless smile. "We've had to adapt to survive." Lena, ever vigilant, hovered at my side, her eyes darting between Kale and me. I could sense her tension, her wariness of this unexpected development. "So what's this proposition?" I asked, cutting to the heart of the matter. Kale's gaze locked onto mine, his eyes glinting with an intensity that made my skin prickle. "We've been watching you, Ambrose Wynter. We've seen your initiative, your drive. The Kalan clan believes we can benefit from an alliance." I raised an eyebrow, intrigued despite myself. "What kind of benefit?" "We possess advanced technology," Kale said, his voice dripping with confidence. "Technology that could propel humanity forward beyond its current limitations." Lena's hand on my arm was a warning, a caution against getting too close, too quickly. But I knew I had to take the risk. This was a chance to change the course of history, to forge a new path for humanity. "What do you want in return?" I asked, my tone measured. Kale's smile was a mere whisper, a hint of secrets untold. "We require assistance. The Kalan clan is facing pressures from other factions within the galaxy. We need a strong ally, one who can help us navigate these treacherous waters." I felt the weight of his words, the unspoken implications hanging in the air like a challenge. This was a gamble, a high-stakes gamble, but I knew I had to take it. "I'm listening," I said, my voice firm, resolute. Kale's gaze never wavered, his eyes burning with an intensity that bordered on fanaticism. "Then let us begin, Ambrose Wynter. Let us forge an alliance that will shake the foundations of the galaxy." As he spoke, the shadows in the room seemed to deepen, the air thickening with anticipation. I knew I was stepping into the unknown, into a world where allegiances were forged and broken with reckless abandon. But I was Ambrose Wynter, the man who refused to give up, and I would not falter now. "Let's do it," I said, extending my hand, sealing the fate of humanity. The stars shone bright above, a celestial map guiding us toward destiny. And I knew that the journey was only beginning, that the battle for humanity's future had just taken a dramatic turn. But as our hands clasped, a fleeting moment of doubt crept into my mind. What secrets lay hidden behind Kale's enigmatic smile? What dangers lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike? The clock was ticking, and I was about to discover that the line between friend and foe was thinner than I ever could have imagined. The darkness receded and a new era dawned. I stood tall, a beacon of hope in a desolate universe. But the stars above seemed to whisper a warning that I would soon realize the true cost of humanity's rise to power. As I gazed out at the stars, my mind reeling with the implications of our newfound alliance. Kale's words echoed in my thoughts. The Kalen clan believes we can benefit from an alliance. Benefit. Such a benign term, hiding the intricacies of intergalactic politics like a venomous snake coiled beneath the surface. Lena's hand still lingered on my arm, a subtle reminder of the risks we took with each step forward. I glanced at her, her eyes gleaming with a fierce determination, and I knew we were in this together, come what may. Let's get down to business, I said, turning to Kale. What kind of technology are we talking about? What exactly do you bring to the table? Kale's smile grew, a calculated move to instill confidence. Our clan has developed advanced propulsion systems, capable of traversing vast distances in a fraction of the time it takes your current vessels. We have also created cutting-edge defensive shields, impervious to even the most aggressive attacks. I raised an eyebrow, impressed despite myself. This was the kind of technology that could catapult humanity to the forefront of the galaxy. And what of the other factions you mentioned? I asked, sensing the unspoken threats lurking in the shadows. What kind of pressure are they exerting on the Kalen clan? Kale's expression turned somber, his eyes clouding over like a stormy sky. The Zeridian Empire, a ruthless and power-hungry entity, has been making aggressive overtures toward our territory. They seek to expand their dominion, crushing any opposition beneath their heel. A chill ran down my spine as I envisioned the Zeridian Empire's relentless march across the galaxy. This was a foe unlike any humanity had faced before. What makes you think humanity can help you counter their aggression? I asked, my mind racing with the implications of our alliance. Kale's gaze locked onto mine, his intensity palpable. We believe humanity's tenacity, its ability to adapt and survive in the face of overwhelming odds, makes it an ideal ally. Together, we can forge a powerful united front against the Zeridian Empire's aggression. The weight of his words hung in the air, a gauntlet thrown at humanity's doorstep. I knew we had to take it to rise to the challenge and prove our worth as a galactic power. I propose we send a delegation to your clan's territories, I said, my mind racing with the possibilities. We can discuss the finer details of our alliance and begin planning our joint defense against the Zeridian Empire. Kale's smile returned, a hint of approval in his eyes. I was hoping you would see it that way, Ambrose Wynter. Together, we can accomplish great things. As we clasped hands once more, sealing our pact, I felt the stars above aligning in our favor. The battle for humanity's future had begun, and I was ready to lead the charge. But as I gazed into Kale's eyes, I sensed a hidden truth, a secret he kept hidden behind his enigmatic smile. What lay beneath the surface of this alliance, waiting to strike? The question lingered, a nagging doubt in the back of my mind as I turned to Lena. Let's get to work, I said, my voice firm with determination. We need to assemble a team for the delegation, people we can trust with our lives. Lena nodded, her eyes flashing with a fierce intensity. I'll start making a list, Ambrose. We'll need a mix of diplomats, scientists, and security personnel. I nodded, my thoughts already racing ahead. I want to include Dr. Patel in the delegation. Her expertise in xenobiology will be invaluable when dealing with the Kalen clan. As we began making preparations for the delegation, I couldn't shake off the feeling that Kale's words hid more than they revealed. What secrets lay hidden beneath the surface of our alliance? The next few days were a blur of activity, with Lena and I working tirelessly to assemble the perfect team. We chose a diverse group of individuals, each with their unique skills and expertise. Dr. Patel, with her vast knowledge of alien biology, was an obvious choice. We also selected Dr. Rodriguez, a brilliant engineer with experience in advanced propulsion systems. Rounding out the team was Captain Ortega, a seasoned security officer with a no-nonsense attitude. As we gathered in the briefing room, I could sense the weight of responsibility settling onto our shoulders. We were about to embark on a mission that would change the course of human history. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said, my voice firm and resolute, "our mission is to forge a strong alliance with the Kalan clan, to secure their advanced technology and work together to counter the Zeridian Empire's aggression. We will be entering uncharted territory, and we must be prepared for any eventuality." The team nodded, their faces set with determination. I could sense their resolve, their willingness to put humanity's interests above their own. As we boarded the sleek, silver spaceship, a gift from the Kalan clan, I felt a thrill of excitement mixed with trepidation. We were about to venture into the unknown to forge a new path for humanity. The journey through space was long and arduous, but finally we arrived at the Kalan clan's territories. The planet was a stunning beauty, with towering crystal spires and iridescent forests that shimmered in the light. As we stepped out of the spaceship, Kale awaited us, his smile warm and welcoming. But I couldn't shake off the feeling that we were walking into a trap, that Kale's words hid a darker truth. "Welcome, Ambrose Wynter," Kale said, his voice dripping with sincerity. "I am honored to have you and your team as our guests. Together, we will forge a powerful alliance that will change the course of history." I smiled, my eyes locked onto Kale's. "I look forward to it," I said, my voice firm and resolute. But as we walked into the heart of the Kalan clan's territories, I couldn't help but wonder, what secrets lay hidden behind Kale's enigmatic smile? As we followed Kale through the winding crystal corridors, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the Kalan clan's advanced technology. The air was filled with a soft, pulsing hum, and the walls seemed to vibrate with an energy that was both mesmerizing and unsettling. Dr. Patel walked beside me, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the sights and sounds of the alien city. "This is incredible," she whispered. "The Kalan clan's biotechnology is far more advanced than anything we've seen before." I nodded, my mind racing with the implications of this alliance. If we could harness the Kalan clan's technology, we could potentially create a new era of human exploration and discovery. As we approached a grand, crystal throne room, Kale turned to us with a sweeping gesture. "Welcome to the heart of our civilization," he said. "Here, we will forge the alliance that will change the course of history." I smiled, my eyes locked onto Kale's. "I look forward to it," I said, my voice firm and resolute. But as we entered the throne room, I felt a sudden jolt of unease. The room was filled with Kalan warriors, their eyes fixed on us with a cold, calculating intensity. Lena stepped closer to me, her hand on the hilt of her blaster. "Ambrose, I don't like this," she whispered. "Something feels off." I nodded, my mind racing with the implications of this sudden shift in atmosphere. What was Kale planning, and why had he brought us to this place? "Let's proceed with caution," I whispered back, my eyes scanning the room for any signs of danger. Kale stood before us, a cold, calculating glint in his eye. "The time has come for us to forge our alliance," he said, his voice dripping with menace. "But first, we must discuss the terms of our agreement." I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. What did Kale want in exchange for his clan's advanced technology? And what secrets lay hidden behind his enigmatic smile? As we began to negotiate the terms of our alliance, I couldn't shake off the feeling that we were walking into a trap, that Kale's words hid a darker truth. But I pushed on, driven by my vision of a brighter future for humanity. The stakes were high, and the outcome was far from certain. But I was Ambrose Wynter, the leader of humanity's expansion into the galaxy. I would not back down, no matter the cost. "Let's get to work," I said, my voice firm and resolute. "We have a lot to discuss and not a lot of time to waste." Kale smiled, his eyes glinting with amusement. "I couldn't agree more," he said. "Let us forge our alliance and change the course of history forever." But as we began to negotiate, I couldn't help but wonder, what secrets lay hidden behind Kale's enigmatic smile? And what would be the true cost of our alliance with the Kalan clan? As we delved deeper into the negotiations, I couldn't shake off the feeling that Kale was hiding something. His words were laced with an underlying tension, a subtle menace that made my instincts scream warning. Dr. Patel and Lena flanked me, their eyes darting between Kale and his warriors, their hands resting on their weapons. I knew they were ready for anything, but I also knew that we couldn't afford to make a wrong move. The terms of the alliance were straightforward. In exchange for the Kalan clan's advanced technology, we would provide them with our knowledge of the galaxy and assist them in expanding their territory. But as Kale spoke, his words dripped with an undercurrent of threat. "I want to make it clear, Ambrose," he said, his eyes locked onto mine, "that our alliance is not a guarantee of friendship. It is a strategic partnership, one that will benefit both our species. But do not think for a moment that we will hesitate to use force if our interests are threatened." I nodded, my mind racing with the implications. Was Kale trying to intimidate us, or was he simply stating the facts? I couldn't be sure, but I knew that I had to tread carefully. "I understand," I said, my voice firm. "We're not looking for a handout, Kale. We're looking for a partnership that will benefit both our species, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen." Kale's smile grew wider, his eyes glinting with amusement. "I like your spirit, Ambrose," he said. "Perhaps we can come to a mutually beneficial agreement after all." As the negotiations continued, I couldn't help but feel that we were walking a tightrope. One wrong move, and the entire alliance would collapse. But I was driven by my vision of a brighter future for humanity, and I was willing to take the risk. Finally, after hours of tense discussion, we reached a tentative agreement. The Kalan clan would provide us with their advanced technology, and in return we would assist them in expanding their territory. As we left the throne room, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. We had done it. We had forged an alliance that would change the course of history. But as we made our way back to our ship, I couldn't shake off the feeling that we had just made a deal with the devil. Kale's smile still lingered in my mind, and I knew that I had to be careful. "Keep your guard up," I whispered to Lena and Dr. Patel as we boarded the ship. "I don't trust Kale, and I don't think we're out of the woods yet." They nodded, their eyes scanning the horizon. We knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger, but we were ready. As we lifted off into the sky, I gazed out at the stars, my heart pounding with excitement. We had taken the first step towards a brighter future, and I knew that nothing would stop us now. But little did I know, our greatest challenge was yet to come. A challenge that would test our resolve, our strength, and our very humanity. The stars twinkled like diamonds in the distance, but I knew that they held secrets, secrets that would change the course of history forever. As we soared through the galaxy, our ship's advanced sensors picked up strange energy signatures emanating from a distant planet. I called a meeting with my top advisors, and we gathered around the holographic display projecting the data. "What do we make of this, Dr. Patel?" I asked, my eyes scanning the readings. She frowned, her brow furrowed in concentration. "It's definitely not natural. The energy pattern is unlike anything I've seen before. It's almost artificial." Lena's eyes narrowed. "Could it be a trap?" I shook my head. "We can't be sure. But we need to investigate. This could be the break we've been searching for. Prepare a team to scout the planet's surface." As we descended onto the planet's surface, our sensors picked up intense electromagnetic activity. I led the team, my heart racing with anticipation. We moved cautiously, our weapons at the ready. The landscape was barren, scarred by ancient battles. Cratered ruins stretched as far as the eye could see. And then we saw it, a massive structure, pulsating with the same energy signature we'd detected from space. "This is it," I whispered, my eyes fixed on the structure. "This is the source." Suddenly, the air was filled with an eerie hum. The structure began to glow, and a low-frequency voice boomed from within. "Welcome, Ambrose Wynter. I have been waiting for you." I stood tall, my heart pounding in my chest. "Who are you?" I demanded. The voice laughed, echoing through the landscape. "I am the guardian of this planet, and you, Ambrose Wynter, are the key to unlocking a secret that will change the course of history forever." I felt a shiver run down my spine. What secret could be so powerful? And what did this guardian want from me? As the guardian's words hung in the air, I knew that our greatest challenge was about to begin. A challenge that would test our resolve, our strength, and our very humanity. I glanced at Lena and Dr. Patel, their eyes locked onto mine. We were in this together, and we would face whatever lay ahead with courage and determination. "Let's do this," I said, my voice firm. The Guardian's laughter echoed once more, and the structure began to glow with an intense, blinding light. We stepped forward into the unknown. The light enveloped us, and everything went white. I felt a strange sensation, as if my molecules were being rearranged. The hum grew louder, and I could feel the energy coursing through my veins. It was exhilarating yet terrifying. When the light faded, we found ourselves in a vast, dimly lit chamber. The Guardian's voice echoed off the walls, reverberating through the space. "Welcome to the heart of eternity," it said. "Here, the secrets of the universe await." I looked around, trying to take it all in. The chamber was filled with ancient artifacts, strange devices, and mysterious orbs that glowed with an ethereal light. At the center of the room, a glowing crystal pulsed with energy. "The heart of eternity," I whispered, awestruck. "This is the source of the energy signature." Lena's eyes darted around the room, her hand on the grip of her blaster. "This feels like a trap," she whispered. Dr. Patel's eyes were fixed on the orbs. "These devices are unlike anything I've seen. They're emitting a quantum frequency that's rewriting the fabric of space-time." The Guardian's laughter echoed once more. "You are correct, Doctor. This chamber is a nexus, a gateway to other dimensions and timelines. And you, Ambrose Wynter, hold the key to unlocking its secrets." I took a step forward, my eyes fixed on the Guardian's voice. "What do you want from me?" "I want to show you the truth," it replied. "The truth about humanity's place in the universe, about the fate that awaits you, and about the price of your ambition." A holographic projection materialized before us, depicting a galaxy in chaos. Alien empires clashed, stars died, and planet after planet succumbed to destruction. "This is the future," the Guardian said. "A future where humanity is but a footnote in the annals of time. But you, Ambrose Wynter, have the power to change that." I felt a surge of determination. "I will not let that happen," I said. "I will do whatever it takes to ensure humanity's survival." The Guardian's laughter echoed once more. "Ah, but at what cost? You see, Ambrose, your ambition is both your greatest strength and your greatest weakness. It will drive you to greatness, but it will also lead you down a path of destruction." I bristled, my anger rising. "What do you know of my ambition?" "I know that it burns within you like a fire," the Guardian replied. "I know that it drives you to make sacrifices, to take risks, and to push the boundaries of what is possible. But I also know that it will consume you, that it will destroy everything you hold dear, and that it will leave you alone, surrounded by the ruins of your own making." I felt a shiver run down my spine. The Guardian's words struck a chord, echoing the doubts that had crept into my mind during the darkest moments of my journey. "What do you propose I do, then?" I asked, my voice laced with defiance. "I propose that you see the truth," the Guardian replied. "See the truth about humanity's place in the universe, about the cost of your ambition, and about the price of your success. And then decide what path you will take." The chamber fell silent, the only sound the hum of the devices and the soft glow of the orbs. I looked at Lena and Dr. Patel, their eyes locked onto mine. We were at a crossroads, and the choices we made would determine the course of history. What would I choose? Would I continue down the path of ambition, or would I take a different route, one that led to a brighter future for humanity? The Guardian's words echoed in my mind, haunting me with the possibilities. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what lay ahead. I would make a choice, one that would change the course of history forever. But what would that choice be? I stepped forward, my eyes fixed on the Guardian's voice. "I'll see the truth," I said, my voice firm. "Show me what lies beyond the veil of uncertainty." The chamber began to shift, the artifacts and devices fading into the background as the walls themselves seemed to dissolve. A vast expanse stretched out before us, a tapestry of stars and galaxies that stretched across eternity. This is the multiverse, the Guardian said, a realm of infinite possibilities where every choice creates a new reality. I gazed out upon the cosmos, my mind reeling at the sheer scale of it all. I saw worlds born and worlds dying, civilizations rising and falling like the tides of an eternal ocean. And humanity, I asked, my voice barely above a whisper, where do we fit in this grand tapestry? The Guardian's laughter echoed once more. Ah, humanity, you are but a thread in the fabric of existence, a fleeting moment in the annals of time. I felt a pang of disappointment, of insignificance. Was this the truth that the Guardian spoke of? That humanity was nothing more than a minor player in the grand drama of the universe? But as I gazed out upon the multiverse, I saw something else. I saw the infinite possibilities, the endless pathways that stretched out before us like a labyrinth of choices. No, I said, a fire burning within me. We are more than that. We are the architects of our own destiny, the writers of our own script. The Guardian's laughter echoed once more. Ah, Ambrose Wynter, you are indeed a visionary. But at what cost? You see the infinite possibilities, but you see the price of playing God. I hesitated, my mind racing with the implications. What was the cost of ambition, of pushing the boundaries of what was possible? Was it worth the risk of destruction, of chaos, of the very fabric of reality unraveling? Lena's hand on my arm brought me back to the chamber, her eyes locked onto mine. Ambrose, be careful, she whispered. We don't know what we're dealing with here. I smiled, a sense of determination burning within me. I know exactly what I'm dealing with, I said. I'm dealing with the future, with the fate of humanity, and with the unknown. Dr. Patel's eyes were fixed on the orbs, her face pale with concern. Ambrose, I don't think you understand the implications of what we're seeing here. This is beyond human comprehension. I turned to her, my voice firm. That's exactly why we need to push forward, to explore the unknown and to forge our own path. We can't let fear hold us back, not when the stakes are this high. The Guardian's laughter echoed once more, a cold, mirthless sound. Ah, Ambrose Wynter, you are indeed a legend in your own making. But legends often fall, and the price of their ambition is paid in blood and tears. I smiled, a sense of defiance burning within me. I'll take that risk, I said. I'll take the risk of failure, of destruction, and of chaos, because the alternative is stagnation, is mediocrity, and is extinction. The chamber fell silent, the only sound the hum of the devices and the soft glow of the orbs. I knew what I had to do, what path I had to take, and I knew that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. What would happen next? Would I succeed in my endeavor, or would I fall prey to the pitfalls of my own ambition? The answer lay beyond the veil of uncertainty, waiting to be revealed. The silence was palpable, the weight of the Guardian's words hanging heavy in the air. I knew that I had to push forward, to take the leap of faith and trust in my own vision. Lena, Dr. Patel, I said, my voice firm and resolute, we need to get to work. We have a new path to forge, a new destiny to create. Lena's eyes locked onto mine, a hint of concern lingering in their depths. Ambrose, are you sure this is the right course of action? We're playing with forces beyond our control. I'm sure, I said, my confidence unwavering. We've come this far and we can't stop now. We have to push forward no matter the cost. Dr. Patel nodded, her face pale but determined. I'll start working on the orbs, try to understand their secrets and how we can harness their power. Lena stepped forward, her hand on my arm. And I'll work on the multiverse, try to map out the possibilities and find a way to navigate its vast expanse. I smiled, a sense of purpose burning within me. And I'll work on the politics, on forging alliances and securing resources. We'll need all the help we can get if we're going to succeed. The Guardian's laughter echoed once more, a cold, mirthless sound. Ah, Ambrose Wynter, you are indeed a master of your own destiny. But at what cost? I turned to the Guardian, my eyes locked onto its. I'll pay the cost, whatever it may be, because the alternative is unacceptable. With that, I turned and walked away, leaving the chamber and its secrets behind. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I knew that I was the only one who could tip the scales. As I emerged into the bright lights of the stronghold, I was met with a sea of faces, all looking to me for leadership and guidance. I raised my hands and the room fell silent. "We have a new path to forge," I said, my voice echoing off the walls. "A path that will take us to the stars and beyond. Are you with me?" The room erupted into cheers, the sound wave washing over me like a tide of hope and determination. I smiled, my heart pounding with excitement. We had a long way to go, but we would get there. Together we would forge a new destiny, one that would be remembered for eternity. But as I looked out upon the sea of faces, I knew that we weren't alone. There were those who would seek to stop us, to crush our spirits and dash our hopes. I smiled, a cold, calculated smile. I would deal with them one way or another, because when it came to the fate of humanity, I would stop at nothing. The journey had just begun, and I was ready. Bring it on. As the cheers died down, I began to make my way through the crowd, shaking hands and nodding encouragement to the faces that passed by. The energy in the room was palpable, a living, breathing entity that seemed to pulse with every beat of my heart. I stopped in front of a group of engineers, their eyes shining with excitement as they pored over schematics and diagrams. "How's the progress on the FTL drives?" I asked, my voice low and urgent. One of them, a young woman with a messy bun and a smudge of grease on her cheek, looked up at me. "We're making good headway, Ambrose. We've got a prototype working, but we need more resources to scale up production." I nodded, my mind already racing ahead. "I'll make sure to allocate more personnel and materials. Keep pushing. We need those drives online as soon as possible." As I continued to make my way through the crowd, I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned to see Lena standing behind me, a look of concern etched on her face. "Ambrose, can I have a word?" she asked, her voice low and urgent. I nodded, following her to a quiet corner of the room. "What is it?" "I've been going over the multiverse maps, and I think I've found something," she said, her eyes scanning the room nervously. "A potential ally, one that could tip the balance in our favor." My interest was piqued. "Who is it?" Lena hesitated, her eyes darting around the room once more. "I'm not sure, I should say. Not here, at least. Can we talk in private?" I nodded, my mind already racing with possibilities. "Let's go to my office. We can discuss it further there." As we made our way through the crowd, I couldn't shake off the feeling that we were being watched. I glanced around the room, my eyes scanning the sea of faces, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. Still, the feeling persisted. I quickened my pace, my senses on high alert. We reached my office, a small, cramped room filled with screens and consoles. I ushered Lena inside, closing the door behind us. "What is it?" I asked, my voice low and urgent. Lena took a deep breath, her eyes locked onto mine. "I think I've found a way to contact the Echoes." My heart skipped a beat. The Echoes, mythical beings of immense power, said to possess the secrets of the multiverse. If we could forge an alliance with them. "How?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Lena smiled, a look of determination etched on her face. "I'll need your help, Ambrose, and Dr. Patel's. We'll need to work together if we're going to make this happen." I nodded, my mind already racing with possibilities. "Let's get to work. We have a new path to forge, and it starts with the Echoes." As we began to brainstorm, the feeling of being watched only intensified. I tried to push it aside, focusing on the task at hand, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that we were running out of time. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and I knew that we were just one step ahead of our enemies. But I was ready. "Bring it on." The room fell silent, the only sound the soft hum of the consoles and the beating of my heart. I knew that the next move we made would change the course of history forever, and I was ready to take the leap of faith. The air in the room seemed to vibrate with tension as we worked, the silence punctuated only by the soft tapping of keyboards and the occasional rustle of papers. I could feel the weight of our mission bearing down on us, the knowledge that our every move would have far-reaching consequences. Lena's eyes darted between the screens, her brow furrowed in concentration. Dr. Patel's hands moved swiftly, his fingers flying across the console as he worked his magic. I watched them, my mind racing with possibilities. The echoes, beings of immense power said to hold the secrets of the multiverse. If we could forge an alliance with them. The thought sent a shiver down my spine. I pushed it aside, focusing on the task at hand. Any progress? I asked, my voice low and urgent. Lena nodded, her eyes locked onto mine. We're getting close, Ambrose. I think I've found a way to hack into the echo's frequency. Dr. Patel's head jerked up, a look of excitement etched on his face. That's impossible. The echo's encryption is unbreakable. Lena smiled, a look of determination etched on her face. Not if you know where to look, Doctor. I nodded, my heart racing with excitement. This was it. This was the moment. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered, the consoles beeping in warning. I felt a jolt of fear, my senses on high alert. What's happening? I asked, my voice low and urgent. Dr. Patel's eyes scanned the screens, his face pale. We're experiencing a power surge. It's like nothing I've seen before. Lena's eyes darted to the console, her fingers flying across the keyboard. I think it's the echoes. They're trying to contact us. My heart skipped a beat. This was it. This was the moment of truth. The lights in the room began to strobe, the air filling with an electric charge. I could feel the presence of the echoes, their power coursing through the air. I took a deep breath, my senses on high alert. This was it. This was the moment that would change the course of history forever. And I was ready.